Is Earth the only planet with life in the entire universe? The observable universe is about 90 billion light years in diameter. There are at least 2 trillion galaxies, each with 100 to 1,000 billion stars. Not long ago, we also learned that there is a vast number of planets too. And there are probably trillions of habitable planets out there, which means there should be opportunity for life to develop and exist, right? But where is it? Shouldn't the universe be brimming with UFOs and extraterrestrial spacecraft? Let's look at the numbers. The Milky Way is our home galaxy. It consists of up to 400 billion stars. That's 10,000 stars for every grain of sand on Earth. There are 20 billion Sun-like stars in the Milky Way, and studies have found that 1/5 of them have an Earth-like planet orbiting in the habitable zone. If only 0.1% of those planets contained life, that would still leave us with 1 million planets with life. And that's just in the Milky Way. But that's not all. The Milky Way is around 13 billion years old. In the beginning, it would not have been a very good place to live, due to there being a lot of explosions. But after 1 to 2 billion years, the first habitable planets were born. Earth is just a measly 4 billion years old, so there should have been lots of chances for life to develop on other planets before us. According to the numbers, there should be 100,000 intelligent civilizations in our galaxy. What would these potential civilizations look like? I'm going to divide the types of civilizations into 3, using the Kardashev scale. A Type 1 civilization would be able to extract all resources and the energy found on the planet. To compare, humanity is currently around 0.73 on the scale. We should reach Type 1 in the next couple of 100 years. Type 2 is a civilization capable of harnessing all the energy from its home star. This would require some pretty heavy science fiction, but it should be doable in theory. Concepts like the Dyson sphere, a giant sphere harnessing the sun's power, should accomplish this. And then we have Type 3, which is basically a civilization that controls its whole galaxy and extracts resources from it. It would practically be like colonizing the entire galaxy. So, if 1% of Milky Way civilizations advanced into galaxy colonizing Type 3 civilizations, there should be at least 1,000 of these civilizations in our galaxy. With that kind of power, their presence would likely be very noticeable. And yet, we've seen nothing, heard nothing, or been visited by anyone. So where are the aliens? This, ladies and gentlemen, is the Fermi paradox, which nobody really has the answer to. But there are some possible answers out there. Let's talk about filters. A filter in this context represents a barrier that is hard for life to overcome, such as war and climate change. These filters come in varying degrees of scary. 1. There is a great filter and we have passed it. Maybe it is much harder for intelligent life to develop than we can imagine. The process that allows life to start hasn't yet been fully figured out, and there may be some strict conditions required. Maybe the universe was way more hostile in the past, and things have only just now cooled down to make it possible for complex life to flourish. This would also imply that we are rather unique, and even the first complex civilization to have thrived. 2. There are great filters and they are ahead of us. This one would be really bad. Maybe life on our level exists everywhere else in the universe, but it gets destroyed when it reaches a certain point. A point that lies ahead of us. For example, advanced future technology exists, but when activated, it destroys the planet. If this theory is true, humanity is closer to the end than the beginning. 3. Maybe there is an ancient Type 3 civilization that has the ability to monitor the universe, and once another civilization has reached a high enough level, they destroy it immediately. Maybe there is something out there that would be best if we didn't discover it. And perhaps we're just alone. At this moment, we have no real evidence that there is any life besides us, just lots of theories and speculations. The universe appears to be dead empty. No one is contacting us or answering our messages. We may actually be completely on our own, imprisoned on a tiny wet grass ball in a seemingly endless universe. That's a scary thought, right? When life on this planet dies out, perhaps there will be no life left. Life will be gone, maybe for all eternity. If this is true, maybe we're the ones who have to take a trip to the stars and become the first Type 3 civilization to keep life from dying out, and to keep spreading life until the universe inevitably collapses into oblivion. The universe is such a magical thing, way too beautiful not to be experienced by anyone. All of this information can take a huge blow on humanity's self-esteem. All the talk about mega-advanced Type 2 and 3 civilizations makes us seem way smaller than we often like to think. Here on our blue orb, we are the rulers, the superior life forms if you will. And in this bubble, with no one to judge us and no competition, being drastically inferior to another species is a hard concept to grasp. With that in mind, the usual view of humanity, that of a lonely life form on a floating rock in an endless universe, could change for the better. The humbling fact that we're probably not the geniuses we assume we are, and that we are likely wrong about a lot of things, is not something to be shunned. It opens up to the possibility that maybe, just maybe, there is more to the story than we realize.
Look at that. The gates of heaven must be open. I think I saw an angel just walk